is kind of how I got started in digital marketing. So I remember when I went to Bible college. I went to Moody Bible Institute. And I remember I originally wanted to be a youth pastor. And I remember saying to my roommate, I can't believe people make so much money. Like, I don't think I could ever make $100,000. Like, that would just seem so wrong. And I was like set on this path of poverty mindset, going to be a youth pastor, kind of just not living I don't know what I was thinking. But anyways, I went to Haiti, I read this article, and my professor one day in the library, he's like, "Hey, Roman, I really would like you to help me with my social media." And I was like, "All right, cool." We talked about it, and he's like, "Okay, so what do you charge?" And I was like, "What do I charge?" I'm like, "I don't know, Mr. Yuan. What do you want me to charge?" And he's like, "I don't know." He's like, "Name a price." So I threw out a price, and he's like, "All right, that seems fair." And then we agreed to it. And he was like literally my first client. And it kind of came unexpectedly. And I remember the Holy Spirit in that moment being it's one of those moments where it's like, you're like, oh my gosh, something's about to change. And I knew something was about to change in my life, but I didn't know what. But I knew I had to keep exploring it. And so like I said, I went to Haiti. I read this article. I kind of kept scratching the itch and followed the rabbit trail. And I think sometimes that's also when we feel God doing something in our lives and when we have an itch, we need to scratch it and we need to see where the Holy Spirit might be leading us to. Obviously, if it's in the darkness, it's not God. But if it's something where it's good and right and excellent and praiseworthy, it could be the Lord kind of moving us in a different direction. And that moment with my professor was a catalyst for God pulling me in a different direction. And had I not been open to that, had I been so youth pastor or bust, I may have missed it. And I may have just been in a career path that I hated. So, and the point with that, sharing that in the story is I was so turned against business and making money. And it was slowly the Lord moved the pendulum in my perspective to the other side. And, I would have never thought that when I said that to my roommate in the dorm room, I would have never thought that God would have me start a business or take on paying clients. But for some reason, when I went to Haiti, when I read that article, when I had the conversation with my professor, the Lord kind of used that to wedge into my heart and say, "Hey, Roman, there's something else here you need to consider. You've got a limited perspective." So there may be people who are watching this and maybe you've had this hunch that you really just need to start baking stuff and selling it. Or maybe you have this hunch that you need to start writing or that you need to start, just babysitting in the community for people. And some of it may be business. Some of it may be just straight up ministry and a nonprofit. But I think, the Lord, Philippians says that it is the Lord who is in us both to will and to work for his good pleasure. So if we're walking with Jesus and we are truly submitted to him, our desires, the more and more we love Jesus, the more and more we can trust that he is shifting our desires towards him and towards good things and towards dreams. And I think obviously if those dreams are selfish or if you just want to become lethargic and greedy, that's not him. But yeah, I think sometimes that's also faith, is being open to God kind of changing our paths.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. Thank you. I like that distinction too. Kind of put up those red flags okay, look out in case it's, selfish or this is completely just because I want to get rich and famous. Maybe not so much, but if this is because you think you can really do something or, you're starting to see evidence that people want the things that you're gifted in, that's a really good thing to look for.
Yeah. And I think that the challenge for Christians in business, some, not all, is business involves money. So you have to get good at charging and you have to make money to, if you don't have a profitable business, you're not going to be in business for very long. So profit isn't bad. Profit is proof that you're actually doing good and that you're actually winning in business. But again, those two, I always say to my wife that what's the hardest thing to do on a balance beam? It's to stay balanced. It's so easy to fall off to the left or to the right. Excuse me. And I think that's the same thing for Christians, is like we can err so much on like the Christian side where it's like I was in my dorm room, like I don't want to make any money. I just want to do my youth ministry, and which is fine. Youth ministry is not wrong, but it's also not the only type of ministry. And we can also err on the side of, like we were talking before, where it's too much success, too much focus on money, but you want to be in the middle where it's, doing well in business and also succeeding ultimately for the Lord.
Thanks for watching this excerpt from the Sword and Savvy interview series. To get the full episode, click the link in the description or on the screen now.